Alright, hey everyone, welcome to another video here. We're going to be doing a team builder guide, and this is a video from the future. I've actually already done the entire team builder guide, and I've since reflected on the fact that it's a little over an hour long and it might be intimidating for some people to watch. However, I encourage you to stay tuned if the following is important to you. So if you want to get the most out of the team builder, like if you just want to pull it up, plug in some things on the PVPOKE team builder and kind of use whatever it suggests and just run with it, cool, go ahead and do that. But if you really want that extra, like, super well-balanced team, and if you want to be able to get such a, not only a well-balanced team, right, which is one thing, but then you can actually identify what you still have weaknesses to, that could be hugely beneficial. And I think getting the most out of the team builder and really utilizing such a powerful tool can really help take your game to the next level. I'm not just saying that as a thing that sounds good to say. I'm like, honestly, I'm ranked as the, in the elite tier. I won my regionals. Like, there's kind of a reason, and I spend a lot of time doing team building, and so I'm hoping to transfer some of that knowledge to you. And despite me having a lot of knowledge up here, I didn't actually end up using a whole lot of it in order to construct my team. I just really carefully and methodically went through step by step each pick, going a little slower at the beginning and then faster towards the end. Once I was whittling down, past, I would say 3 or 4 Pokemon forms a solid core. After that, you can kind of just tack on things that round out the edges and you're kind of good to go. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. Stay tuned, grab some popcorn, and enjoy. All right. See you soon. Bye.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. So what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the new team builder. I'll move my face out of the way in just a second. And what we're going to be doing there is building a Cliffhanger team. It's for the Go Stadium format. They are doing a really good job kind of going through and assigning point values to each team. So I am going to show you what sorts of resources I use and how you can best get the mileage out of the team builder. This is going to be a bit of a casual upload. I'm just going to be building it on the fly with a couple of baselines and then kind of fleshing it out from there. Last time I did one of these, people said it was really helpful, so I'm just going to walk you through my thought process. And yeah, I'm going to pace around on my front porch because it's Pokemon Go and I'm walking some eggs and hatching some more Galarian, Zigzagoons or whatever. So I don't know. And there's cat stuff everywhere. There's no cats, but there is cat stuff. I can go get the cats. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up, shrink on down. I might just delete the camera outright if it gets like too in the way, but for now we'll try and wing it. So what I recommend, if you're on mobile or if you're, I don't know, smart enough to use a PC, not like me, then either way, I recommend you have some resources up. So first of all, Chrome Mobile has tab groupings, so you can have lots of different, tabs, and then you can group them. So I recommend you group, first of all, the PVPOKE article done by my good friend Matt, who it has the updated Cliffhanger graphic. It has sample point values right there that you can choose to build like certain teams around. So that's going to be really good. And then because you have to total up to 17 points. So yeah, first of all, you probably, if you're watching this, I'm going to help you use the team builder, but if the Cliffhanger format doesn't make any sense, then I don't know. I'll just go. So the second thing I recommend is you can download the image directly for the Cliffhanger infographic here, and then you can read all of the rules. I guess I'll just put this here, and you can pause the video and read the rules if you really need to. All right. So anyways, we have that as a program that we can flip to. We have this article here, which is helpful, and then typically you can select different like slots. So like a flying slot or an anti-flying slot or an anti-tank slot, like things like that. And so what we're going to do is try to figure out kind of a nice combination of things that we can utilize. So yeah, so just taking a look here at, let's go over to the team builder. So there's a couple of things, right? So first and foremost, even if you're used to the team builder normally, I do want to point something out that's very, very different. So this little button right here, it says advanced. You can go in and make a custom threat meta. This is important. So basically, actually, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So there's the custom threat meta, the custom alternatives, so suggestions for, you know, certain types of Pokemon. And then those are all like basically whitelists. And then down here, you can also go to the scorecard length and you go 10, 20, 30, or 40. I like to do 40. So here's what that does. Even if you don't mess with the custom metas, which honestly takes a lot of work to import a specific meta you want to check against, and you can remove certain Pokemon that you don't feel are actually going to be a thing, right? Like, if PVPOKE keeps simulating a bunch of Razor Leaf users as being really good and nobody really likes Razor Leaf because it's super inflexible maybe, or maybe everyone's just going to pick like Victory Bell or something as the Razor Leafer and not like a billion other Razor Leafers, then you can just go like naturally remove those. Or you can remove kind of anything you feel like you're not going to fight against, and then you can have the simulation stack up against that specific group. So this is huge. This was not possible before. We had to entirely rely on Matt's programming to make this work. So now we can custom input this. The other thing you can do though, so let's just expand the scorecard to 40 and hit rate team. I'm just going to go with Berserker and Azumarill. That's going to be kind of maybe a baseline for a team that we're making. So as you can see here on the meta scorecard, normally this is only 20 long. It's a lot more than 20 now. And so it's really nice because you get a more expanded shot. The circle means that Registeel is winning versus Berserker. So the circle means Registeel gets the win. And then the X is when Registeel loses to Azumarill, which we all know is a little bit more equal than really Registeel outright losing to Azumarill. It's kind of up in the air on that. So yeah, so just scrolling down, and we see here the potential threats. And so potential threats are interesting because it basically takes things that could beat both Pokemon on my team, and it gives us 40 of those essentially, right? Down here it actually can't find things that beat both, so it kind of puts like one, you know, beats one, and you know, or Azumarill, like it beats one and ties one, things like that. So we're gonna try and find Pokemon up here that are, so like a lot of these like Zebstrika, like Luxray, Luxio, like people aren't really gonna run like all these electric Pokemon. There's like so many electric Pokemon that's recommending. So what I encourage you to do is go here. So first of all, scroll through this list and try and look for a double circle. A double circle means it's losing to both. And these are the top meta threats, right? These are the absolute tip-top cream of the crop, pound for pound, usually the best things that you can pick. So if you look at, there's Meganium there as a double circle. There's Rainy Castform and Zapdos. Those are three really good Pokemon that people are definitely going to be bringing. So now, we're going to keep those in mind, and we're going to scroll through and see if there's anything else that really jumps out to us here. Alolan Raichu does jump out to us. Seaking is good in GBL versus Altaria, Registeel, and Azumarill, but you can't pick all of those in Cliffhanger. Those are all 9-point picks. You can only pick one 9-pointer. There is I think Lantern is legitimate. Galvantula, and that's honestly probably it. Maybe Azumarill. So let's do that. So let's go to advanced. We're gonna start adding Pokemon. So we'll just add Azumarill. We're gonna add Galvantula. We're gonna add Alolan Raichu. We're going to add Meganium, right? Because that was one of the first double circles that we found. We're going to add Zapdos with that new Thundershock Drill Peck. thing, and then we're going to add, what was the last one? I don't remember, so we're going to go and scroll down and see what it is. Rainy cast form. That's right. See, there it is right here. All right, perfect. So there we go. I think I have to type cast form and then choose the drop down and go rainy. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, so now we have 6 things. Now, as you might know, let me actually just scroll down and show you an example. So what this does is, this is the potential threats list. This is the thing that it decides to make suggestions off of. So it goes with the top 6. So it takes Meganium, Raikou, Luxio, Luxray, Zebstrika, and Alolan Raichu. So mostly electrics and then a random grass Pokemon. And it goes down here, and it lists them all horizontally. The number of this that lists out is not currently changeable. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a custom version of these 6. So watch. Now I'm going to hit raid again. And then, there we go. Our meta scorecard against only 6 Pokemon in the entire meta. Yeah. And our threat score is amazingly low because there's hardly anything to actually defend against. Cool. All right, anyways. Let's scroll on down to potential alternatives. And you see here, it's actually simulating all 6 of the threats that we thought might be a problem, and it's suggesting Venusaur beats all of those. Now, for anyone that was astutely paying attention before, Venusaur is actually one of the top suggestions before against the potential threats, but it doesn't always work out that way. Like, I could actually take off the Alolan Raichu and I could put on, you know, something like a Stunfisk, which can probably beat Berserker. It could probably beat Berserker, and then it can also probably beat like Azumarill and the 2-Shield. So, like, our team's not essentially that strong against Stunfisk, so we could pop a Stunfisk in there if we really wanted to, and it might change how some of the picks line up. There's probably other ways to do this too. Toxicroak might be another one that, like, definitely has the potential to beat Azumarill. Definitely can beat Berserker, no problem. So, you know, it's a toss-up, and so we're just trying to find, like, maybe we don't want Venusaur. Maybe we don't want to spend 5 points on our solution. Maybe we want to spend 0 points. Maybe we want to just use Tangrowth because it's a 0-point solution that takes care of all of these things, right? So you have options and you have good options. You have well-tailored options. So that was just kind of part of the example that I wanted to showcase for this. What I'm going to do right now is pause the recording. I'm actually going to decide what 9-pointer I want to pair with Berserker because I wanted to make a Berserker team. So now I'm actually going to go get into, like, creating my own team, and you can see my thought process behind that from start to finish. So I will be right back to decide if I'm actually going with Azumarill or something else. All right. We are back. It's been a while. I've grown a little bit more facial hair. So let's do this. I have constructed essentially 3 different team combinations that I wanted to try Berserker with. So one is the Azumarill, which we have here, and we already walked through this custom meta. Then there is the Berserker with Defense Deoxys, Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, standard kind of stuff. And there's also something a little funky. Berserker with Defense Deoxys again, surprise. But it has counter Thunderbolt and Psycho Boost. Normally most people do Psycho Boost Rock Slide. However, I really wanted a way to deal with Azumarill. I wanted a way to deal with water threats a little bit better in general, so not just Azumarill, but just like other water types. And it didn't really seem like Rock Slide was all that necessary. Yeah, I ended up, and I really wanted Psycho Boost for some very particular matchups. In general, Deoxys just kind of plays a little bit differently with Psycho Boost and can do a lot of neutral damage. So I wanted him to be a kind of a swap-in. So Berserker is kind of my lead, which is leading with, and then can kind of throw close combats and then get out of there and swap Deoxys in. Deoxys is generally a better swap than Azumarill. If Azumarill runs into a grass type, he's pretty screwed. Most people tend to bring grass. Most people do not bring things like Umbreon, which is some of the only walls to Deoxys that are in the game. So, just taking a look, these are the 2 custom lists that I made, basically by scrolling down and identifying certain things that jumped out to me as beating both of my Pokemon. So Swampert, Umbreon, Meganium on both lists, no problem there. And then we get into this one where when you lose out on the Rock Slide, actually, you lose against Munchlax and Marowak. Well, I mean, you lose against Marowak in both cases, but you're really screwed against Marowak. And then Raichu also yielded some difficult results because it resists Psycho Boost and Thunderbolt. And Raichu's definitely possible to be in here. However, with this list here, I went with the Sableye and the Whiscash. Sableye is actually a threat to even this one, and I was going to put it on the list. But Berserker actually beats it in the 2 shield, so it's not like a huge threat, but it's kind of a threat. So I just decided to tack it on because Munchlax was no longer a problem with the standard moveset. And yeah. So, and then I tacked Whiscash on there because I wanted the algorithm to try and use double Mudboys. I noticed a lot of Mudboys were really strong against the Rock Slide Thunderbolt. If I don't have Psycho Boost to throw that neutral damage, most Mudboys will be a problem. Swampert is always a problem, but most of them will continue to be a problem if both charge moves are resisted from Deoxys. So, yep, that's it. Also, by the way, the threat score for this team, if we go down, is 765 for just the 2. And then for this team, it is... Sorry. Oh, I already simulated it. Okay, my bad. But it was actually slightly lower. It was like 762 or something like that for the one with Thunderbolt and Psycho Boost. So the unconventional moveset actually had a lower threat score, which is kind of why I decided to use it. So yeah, we're going to click Rate Team. We're going to wait for that to happen. We're going to go up and hit Rate Team, which refreshes. Basically, it runs our custom meta instead of the full meta. Alrighty. So... there we go. So it's suggesting Scrafty, Venusaur, Shiftry. Let's flex over here and see what it's suggesting as well. Venusaur, Obstagoon, Shiftry. Obstagoon and Scrafty are pretty similar. So yeah, you can kind of see how this is populating the results, and it tends to put some of the best matchups up towards the top. So in general, it's going to have the further you scroll down here, you're going to see like, oh man, like a bunch of pink, right? Like a bunch of pink. And then up here, mostly blue. Whoops, my bad. Didn't mean to open that. And mostly blue up here. And the blue just means that the vast majority of these picks you're going to be adding are going to be winning against these threats that you've programmed. So, and then we can even go over here and we can look at like what picks it's suggesting for the Azumarill. Although, you know, kind of a different thing. So, what I'm looking at in particular for the Cliffhanger format is when I look at my core, right? So I'm building a core, and I'm building my first 2 Pokemon. I want to know what types of... Basically, I want to know what are the cheapest solutions to solve those problems that those Pokemon have. And so in the case of Berserker and Azumarill, you know, Venusaur, Ivysaur, but then also Blossom and Tangrowth tend to come in there. You've even got some one-pointers with, like, I guess, you know, Shifter, you can kind of take out some stuff. Looks like everybody's kind of struggling against Meganium and Zapdos. Like, it's hard to beat both. Sunny Charma apparently beats both, but struggles against Galvantula, of all things. Kind of weird, but okay. And, probably loses to like a Bug Buzz bait or something. I don't know. Weather Balls are just kind of slamming into Galvantula. It seems like it'll be a pretty sketchy matchup. So, yeah, so we're just trying to look and see, like, do we have any cheap solutions or do we have to dip into our 5-point solutions? And it looks like the answer is, yeah, we have some cheap solutions and we have some 5-pointers. What's over here? Do we have some cheap solutions? Yeah, we got a bunch of cheap solutions. We got Noctowls, we got Vigoroths, we got Obstagoons, Galarian Linoon is unfortunately banned. But yeah, they don't really beat all of them, right? None of our cheap options really beat all of these problems. They beat most of them. So really the Alolan Marowak is going to cause our team quite a bit of problems if we have the Deoxys and the Berserker. So I definitely think that Scrafty has some viability here. And it looks like Scrafty is taking out the Swampert, whereas the Linoon is, or sorry, the Obstagoon is not. So that explains the point differential there. But yeah, over here, oh, whoops, my bad. I know why the threat score is actually all off, is because we were not doing Continentals. Sorry, Cliffhanger. Whatever tournament I'm doing both. In this time zone. But yeah, my team is doing like 1 p.m. and as you can see it's 11:15, so got a couple hours to workshop this. Okay, cool. So we're back, and what's interesting about this team, actually, the one with the alternate moveset for Deoxys, is that there is not a pick that we can choose that actually just shores up all 6. Like, there's always one pink box in there somewhere. And by the way, if you switch your phone to landscape mode, this is a lot more successful. I could do that. Maybe I'll try it. We'll see. We'll see if it's better. Oh, the camera angle is also off. All right, got it. Now it's like a weird side of my face. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm gonna wing it. Gonna see. I could probably just take the camera off, to be honest. Yeah, so it looks like there is Venusaur. Yeah, so you can see there's a pink box on every single line. So there's not really a pick that like shores up everything, whereas over here we actually do have Scrafty that shores up everything against this particular moveset. And then over here we actually have quite a few picks that shore up everything that this team struggles with. Quite a few, and some 0-point picks at that. So, I don't know. It seems like Berserker and Azumarill are pretty righteous. And it makes sense. I mean, if we just want to look at Berserker a little bit more and understand what role it fills, it's very similar to Registeel. It has the close combat, so it has the big fighting damage nuke that Registeel has. It's a straight solid steel type, so there's that. Pretty similar there. It's not as bulky. And then it also just has general neutral damage. Flash Cannon from Registeel tends to be neutral against most things, and so does Foul Play. Foul Play tends to be neutral against most things. So, yeah, it makes sense. And the fact that it's suggesting a grass type to shore up all these problems is really nice, because grass types are like very common. And, you know, even here it's suggesting grass types to help us deal with some of our problems, except we still can't get rid of some of these pesky, like, you know, fire Pokemon or dark Pokemon or, I don't know. It's just tough. It's just tough. So, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to lean towards the Azumarill for now. I think that, I don't know. I'm kind of second guessing because the Deoxys has a really nice safe swap, so you can always get your Berserker out of the lead situation and swap into Deoxys and kind of, I don't know, be okay. Because when you debuff yourself with those close combats, you want to get out of there. That can be really nice. So, also, if you're about to take a fighting nuke on Berserker, so if you're against like a Registeel or something like that, and Registeel's about ready to Focus Blast you, you can actually just swap in the defense Deoxys and tank that. So some of the hardest hitting nukes to Steel Pokemon are in fact absorbed pretty well from Deoxys. So swapping into him also makes sense there. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a simple team for now. we're just going to use the Azumarill. Registeel Azumarill is a notoriously good combo, and Berserker is not that much different, but it is a 1-point Registeel as opposed to a 9-point Registeel, so it's not as good. So anyways, we are going to select what we want here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of... I'm going to pause the recording and clean up some tabs here, just a sec. Alright, we're back, we're in business, so let's get on down to our third Pokemon. So, I'm sort of liking the looks of, I think Venusaur seems good, right? It seems good, however, the thing is, we have a Steel type to deal with Charm, and one of Venusaur's main benefits is to offset the effects of Charm with its Poison typing. And so it really just like walls a ton of Charmers and really helps out with fighters too. However, Azumarill really helps us out with our fighter problem because it's Fairy. And then our Steel type helps us out with Charm. So inherently, we're actually resilient to both of those things. And that's really one of the reasons that sets Venusaur apart from other grass types. So if we scroll down, I think Blossom, Tangrowth would probably make sense. I don't really know what movesets Tangrowth has. So if you hit this plus button here, it should bring up... Yeah, we're going to need some vertical space. We're going to switch. Sorry, it's disorienting. Alright, so Tangrowth has... Let's see. I'll move this down here for now. Tangrowth has Vine Whip, Power Whip, Rock Slide, and wow, it can get Sludge Bomb as well. Although Rock Slide is much better than Ancient Power now. Well, Vine Whip, Power Whip is strong. Rock Slide is strong. That seems like a decent Pokemon. I don't have one made yet, but that seems decent. And then we can go with Blossom and check out what Blossom has to offer us. Ooh, it is the Return Blossom. I do not think I have a Shadow Oddish to purify and make this thing. So, actually, let me go check. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. And as it turns out, Return Blossom is kind of dumb because most Shadow Pokemon, when you purify them, they automatically go to level 25. And most Blossoms tend to hang around like level 23 or so when they're underneath 1500. So to actually have a Blossom like with those kind of stats, like as you can see, it says level 24.5. That's not really realistic to have a purified Pokemon like that unless you like make like a low level account. Like if you like create another one, or if you trade someone with a low level account and they give you a low level purified Oddish. So otherwise you're gonna have this, and you're gonna need like really low, like see these IVs, like you're gonna need to roll like really low to get one that's usable. So I don't really know anyone with that. So does Blossom have other usable moves? I mean, Dazzling Gleam, I guess, but it's mostly a Leaf Blade machine. It tends to be kind of bulky, but I honestly think I'm just gonna go with the Tangrowth. So yeah, we're gonna ship the Tangrowth, and we're gonna move forward. So so here's what's cool. You can add the Tangrowth, and then you can actually just go up here and just delete all these people. Pokemon, or people now, I guess. And you can clear that back to the main general Cliffhanger meta. And so then, as you can see, we're lacking a little bit in bulk. Apparently Berserker and Tangrowth don't really cut it, but that's fine because we still have a lot of points, right? We're still saving a lot of points. If you go back to the PVPOKE article here, you can look and see that we can do a 9-5-1-1-1-0. So we still have a 5-pointer. We still have a couple 1-pointers that we can do because we spent 1 on Berserker, and I think Tangrowth is a 0. As we saw on the suggestion thing. So we have a 1-1 and a 5 left. So 7 points, still pretty good. We can get some bulk somewhere with some overpowered Pokemon. So we have 3. Let's go and check it out and see if anything from the top meta beats all 3. Alright? Ideally it wouldn't, because we kind of designed Tangrowth to be able to help us out with that. So what are we looking bad against? And when I'm scrolling through this list, by the way, what I'm looking for specifically is like multiple circles, which means that the Pokemon beats us. So we're looking for like, oh, Registeel beats Berserker and Tangrowth. Okay, good to know. I don't really know if it beats this thing in the 2-shield though, to be honest. Yeah, it loses in the 2-shield. So Berserker, you can think of it kind of like a Registeel and kind of like a Sableye. Because it has Shadow Claw Foul Play, but then it also has the big close combat nuke. And Sableye oftentimes, just with pure neutral damage from Shadow Claw and Foul Play, just beats things in the 2-shield. It just beats them. Because it gets to charge moves faster than most things do with Shadow Claw Foul Play. There's not many things that are faster than that. And if they are faster than that, they tend to be such high energy generating moves that they actually don't really do any damage. Like, their fast move damage is really anemic, which interesting about Shadow Claw is it still does really good damage and has like some of the top energy. So yeah, in this case Berserker takes it in the 2-shield, so I'm not too worried about Registeel. That's fine. So Berserker's actually going to be a really busted lead. Like, it's going to be really strong in the lead position, and if I feel like my opponent is going to have certain things in the back, like, oh, it might have an Altaria in the back or something, and like I have an Azumarill, then like I'm going to double shield the hell out of that first matchup so that I can fight whatever it is with my second. Like, if Altaria doesn't come in, then I fight it with whatever my third Pokemon is, and then when Altaria finally shows up and I'm like, oh, I knew Altaria would show up, then we bring out the Azumarill. So if I can kind of guarantee switch advantage and make a lot of things really happen from that. So it's really important to identify on your team what are the 2-shield situations. It's really hard to identify in this team builder. The team builder specifically tends to mark how favorable a situation is based on the 0 and 1 shield situation. So it doesn't really account for 2-shield situations. So when I see Berserker versus Registeel and I see that Registeel's favored, I actually look at that as, Registeel's kind of favored and kind of not. You know, so that's the way I look at it. So anyways, as an aside, what we're looking for is double circles, because double circles still indicate that there's going to be some pressure there. Azumarill is a single circle and a tie, so we're going to be a little worried about Reggie, a little worried about Azumarill. Looks like Deoxys could be a problem. I could see that being a problem. Umbreon, Mantine. So these are all things where, like, if we don't want to bring Azumarill, like if we specifically don't want to bring Azumarill into the matchup, then we're going to need some answers. So these are things that are all really hard to answer with one Pokemon. It kind of seems like Alolan Raichu, though, like just off the top of my head, Registeel, Azumarill, Mantine, Deoxys. Alolan Raichu is pretty good against all of those. Not Umbreon. And not really Tropius. Well, no, I think it's good against Tropius, I believe, with Wild Charge now. I'd have to check, but yeah. Pretty decent against Vigoroth, so who knows? Maybe we'll do that. But let's use the team builder, right? Let's pretend that you don't have like a bunch of knowledge in your head already and you're like entirely dependent on this tool, right? So we're gonna build it with the team builder. We're gonna see potential threats. It's gonna take basically the top 6 of these. So Vigoroth, Meganium, Ivysaur, Registeel, Venusaur, Magnezone. Right? So that's what I'm talking about. How like people aren't gonna be running Magnezone. It's just not a really common pick. It's just not. So, and you know, we'd rather have a Tropius in there. We'd rather have a Toxicroak or, you know, a Alolan Raichu, even a Skuntank or an Umbreon. Like, we'd rather that be factored into the analysis of the recommendations. So we're probably going to need to make another custom recommendation. But that's what this video is about. It's about the updated PVPOKE site, which allows us to do exactly that. Before, you had to basically go create another team builder and add 6 to a custom team and then sim that and figure out what it suggests is the things that are strongest against it. And those are actually the things you should be adding to your team, is the suggestions of what is threatening to your threats, right? The enemy of your enemy is your friend, something like that. I don't know. It's convoluted and most people didn't like doing it, and this works way better. So let's scroll down and see what kind of suggestions it has. Okay, some Metacham, some Zweilous. I'm looking at the 5-pointers for now. Hypno, Venusaur, Marowak, it's possible that we would want to spend our 5 points on Marowak. Marowak is strong, for sure. And with Azumarill being weak to grass, and us sort of generally struggling against Meganium, we also struggle against Venusaur a little bit. Tangrowth can't kill it, and Azumarill can't really kill it. So yeah, we'll probably want something like that. But let's go ahead and make a custom list. I don't really like how this looks, so I'm gonna pause the video here. I'm gonna go make the custom list, and then I'll be right back. So imagine this is fast forwarding. All right, so we are back, and I'm going to show you what choices I've made to lock in the advanced threats here. So, wait, this doesn't look right. I messed it up again. I added them to the wrong group, so this is the only problem, is this interface looks pretty similar to this interface here. But yeah, we're gonna wanna get Vigoroth, Deoxys, Defense Deoxys, and we'll do, actually, you know what's probably even worse for us is Defense Deoxys with Rock Slide and Thunderbolt. Wow. Deoxys, Defense with Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, because we have Azumarill. So we're just going to assume the worst out of the Deoxys, and then we'll pop the Zapdos in there. So I'm going to explain how I came to these picks real quick. So before I hit run simulation, because once I run the simulation, all of this data right here disappears. And we're instead going to be left with those 6 Pokemon that I just outlined. So this is before we submit that and run a new calculation. So here I want to show you that Registeel looks like a problem, and it's going to be popular because it's one of the 9 pointers, right? So a lot of the 9 pointers are like extremely common and really strong, especially Registeel, Altaria, and Azumarill. So we put the Registeel in there. We put the Venusaur. I was thinking about putting Azumarill in because we only have like a mirror match and a grass to beat it, but I think it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. So we put the Venusaur in there, and the way we came up to this, I mean, you can scroll down here and look at the potential threats, and you'll see like, oh, there's the Venusaur, there's the Registeel, there's the Vigoroth, there's the Zapdos, there's the Umbreon, and there's the I think I had a Lowland Muck in here at 1.2. Like, I mean, I could just add these there. So this is just for us to keep track of it, I guess. So we could say, okay, we'll add a Lowland Muck, we'll add Azumarill. So it's only gonna simulate the top 6 for us and generate like results for it. But let's try this. I had an idea, so let's try it. So let's put that in. Another one I was thinking was probably a Alolan Raichu, and maybe Ferrothorn, and maybe Sableye. Alolan Raichu and Deoxys get countered by similar things, but let's do it. So Raichu, Alolan, Sableye, and I already forgot the other thing that I said. Is there Rainy Cast Form in here? Nope. We should probably add Cast Form because that's still kind of an issue. I mean, we did get 1 grass as a solution for it, but ideally we want 2, right? So this is probably where I'm okay spending our 5-point pick if we can get something that neutralizes most of these threats. This is probably, and then the last 2 are just going to shore up like random things. But generally your first 4 Pokemon should deal with most things. And the reason I'm not letting it run against the top 6 potential threats is because a lot of these are the same. Like Venusaur and Ivysaur are the same. So it's going to count that weight as double. It's going to be like, oh wow, you're like so weak to grass poisons. But you're actually like, they're always going to have just 1 grass poison, right? They're not going to have both Pokemon. And so you don't need the simulation to count it as double, so you kind of want to count, you know, oh, like maybe I'll put, like I don't need Tropius and Venusaur in the simulation because most of the time they die to the same thing. So, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm coming from. And then, yeah, I'll probably add like a, I don't know, Ferrothorn on there, something like that. Maybe a Noctowl. And yeah. Whoops, that's not the space. That's our actual team. Noctowl, and yeah, let's go with Ferrothorn. I don't think most people are going to pick Tropius at this point, but I could be wrong about that. So, all right, cool. We've got it, and then we're going to sim it. And so this is going to create, I'll kind of showcase how it ends up creating this. But yeah, so it basically has those top choices here. Oh, it looks like it's doing it in alphabetical order on this list. And then here it should do the top 6. Yep, it did the top 6. And then it has the rest of the picks that were just kind of added in there, sort of randomly. Oh man, they're in kind of like a random order too. That is weird. But yeah, Venusaur, Regi, Umbreon, Vigoroth, Deoxys, Zapdos should be the top 6. But maybe it's not the top 6. It isn't. Interesting. So the electric types got shifted upwards. Okay. So then, yeah, we'll probably want to just take it a little chill for now. So yeah, we'll probably actually maybe want to trim that down. So I'm cool taking out the Raichu, and it looks like it's sort of algorithmically trying to put some of the top threats towards the top. So yeah, I'm going to take out Raichu because Zapdos and Raichu are pretty similar. And then I'll generate that again. And so this is kind of like pruning our list. And then we pretty much just have the algorithm do all the work for us. Okay. So now, under our potential list, we have Venusaur, Registeel, Vigoroth, Zapdos, Umbreon, Deoxys. Yeah, that looks good. We might want like a rainy cast form in there as our 6th rather than like something like Deoxys. But it's fine. Deoxys is still a problem. Okay, cool. So let's see what it suggests for us. Okay, Marowak, he's back. That was kind of what it was saying before we did all the customization. Medicham and Regirock. What's interesting is Machamp for 0 points. Some of these other 0-pointers, Blastoise. And then right here, I'll switch it to Landscape. And scroll on down. So here, we only have one Pokemon that really takes out all, like 5 out of the 6. It doesn't quite take out 6 out of the 6. Like Umbreon is still an issue. So Umbreon is going to only lose to, I think, Azumarill. And then if we add Marowak, then we still have an Umbreon problem. So there's that. If we add Medicham, then we're kind of losing to other things. Keep in mind that Venusaur, we're kind of bundling that with Tropius a little bit, so we're keeping that in mind. And then we want to scroll up here, and so we can kind of do this as, we can kind of use this list up here as a, or let's just use this one instead. So keep in mind that we might need to have some Azumarill and Castform solutions. Maybe like a Ferrothorn or something, if, you know, in this case, Marowak deals with that. So we look at Marowak and we go, do we know how it deals with all of these Pokemon? It loses to Azumarill and Castform. It works against Deoxys, Ferrothorn. Not really against Muck very well. Not really against Noctowl at all. So we're going to need something for water types. Noctowl, we're probably going to need like a good neutral fighter or something, because fighters can often punch Noctowl down and punch the water types down and the Alolan Muck. And then, yeah, awkward. Also, Sableye is an issue, but again, our Berserker can beat that in the 2 shield, so not too much of a problem. And then, yeah, I would say overall Marowak kind of deals with the rest pretty well. I'm not sure how it deals with the Zapdos. Is Zapdos in there? Oh, it is, and it says it wins. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's mostly the dark types we're going to be struggling against, like Sableye and Umbreon. Charm actually might come into play here. Let's think about a Charm as a solution. So Charm helps with Muck. I know it has Sludge Wave, but it also takes neutral damage from Charm, and it gets hurt pretty quickly. And then you can probably take out the cast forms with Charmers, like a bulky enough Charmer. Clefable or Wigglytuff comes to mind. Noctowl, things like that. Dies to Wigglytuff, so Sableye, Umbreon. So we might end up going with a Charm solution. It's looking like it. So yeah, let's do it. So let's add, I'm kind of liking the Medicham. I don't really know about Regirock. I don't really know how to play Regirock, to be honest. I don't really have one built. I don't really have the resources to make it, the rare candy, the etc, etc. It might be good, though. I don't know. Let me go check and see how possible a Regirock is. Be right back. Alright, so a Regirock is possible to make. I don't really know if it helps solve a lot of our problems. Here we're actually seeing Clefable as a recommendation to solve quite a few things. And so we were kind of thinking of a Charmer anyways. I'm sure like Wigglytuff is probably in there somewhere. Yeah, there's the... Where would... Wow, how is Clefable like one of the only Charmers in here? Am I missing something? Seems weird. I could see Cresselia's in there too, but it's pretty sketchy. Yeah, that is very strange that Clefable's one of the only Charmers in here. I guess it does a particular thing really well. And then also it deals with a bunch of these other Pokemon, I'm sure. So let's do this. I actually want to do like a split here. So I'm going to do a few different team comp splits here in order to kind of narrow things down. So I'm going to pause the recording. I'll be right back. Alright, so since a Regirock was possible for me to build, I went ahead and did a split on 3 teams. So that I felt like was pretty decisive for how we're spending our 4th Pokemon. Often I think the core 4 is the most important thing. So that is why I'm spending the most time on this. And then the 5th and 6th Pokemon really aren't super important. They're kind of fringe sort of stuff. So so we're looking at the same team with Regirock. Then we're looking at the same team with Marowak. And then we're looking at the same team with Clefable. And so Clefable was interesting. It was one of the only Charmers, and I was like, what the heck is going on there? Why is that the case? And so it turns out it's pretty nice. So it beats Swampert, which we were kind of struggling with a little bit early on with the Berserker, but I think at this point we're doing great against it. Takes out Deoxys. Takes out Mantine and Umbreon, which were both... So if you basically look at the column... if you look 3 columns in, right, and you look for the double circles, we're looking for an X on the other side of that. So if you see like Deoxys has circle, circle in the first 3 columns, then an X on the 4th column means we have kind of double coverage. So we get like 2 and 2. So like Registeel, it's still tough for us, right, with the Clefable, but Azumarill is a little tough for us. But if you look at Deoxys, double 2 circles, and it has an X for Clefable, so we beat it. Double circle for Mantine, Clefable beats it. Double circle for Umbreon, Clefable beats it. Double circle for Tropius, Clefable beats it. Double circle for Vigoroth, Clefable beats it. Meganium, still tough. So we're probably going to want to specifically go out of our way to figure out how do we deal with Meganium, Registeel, Azumarill, those kinds of things. And Venusaur. 3 very hard wins against our team. Venusaur is monstrous against us. And then Medicham, we got the win there. We shored up that. Rainy Cast Form, we actually picked that up. I wasn't sure if Wigglytuff could do that, or sorry, if Clefable could do that, but it can. Zapdos, it picks up Zapdos, which is one thing we needed. So yeah, overall Clefable's looking really hot. And so now, what's interesting is if you go back to this team with the Marowak and you scroll through, you're actually going to see that it shores up quite a few things. And then, unfortunately, it still struggles against a lot of the same stuff, and then it's probably going to suggest Clefable. Yeah, there it is. So I actually think that the Marowak Clefable combo is really, really strong. With Regirock, see, I was looking at the Regirock stuff because I think Regirock just has a different profile, and it really doesn't help us versus the grass problems that we have. Rock is weak against grass, and so it still sort of requires something like a crappy like fire Pokemon, or you know, like Lugia is kind of an interesting kind of an off-meta flyer, or like Charizards, or you know, Toxicroak. I mean, these things are solvable, but yeah, I'll probably want to go and condense all these metas down, at least for the Regirock. So, and then figure out what the Regirock problems are after the team has the 4 core, right? So if we're spending 5 points on Regirock, we want most of our problems to be solved, and if there are some leftover problems, we want them to be like kind of in one particular group or bucket that we can pretty easily apply like a 1-point solution to, and like kind of take care of most of that. So that's really the issue with Regirock, is its profile is so strange and weird, but it does have a lot of playability and wiggle room, and I'm really liking it as just, I don't know, a potential to look into. But the Marowak Clefable is definitely more of the safer option. Marowak just parses out all the grass completely, most of the fighters, and then you're sort of left with Clefable to take out some of the water types and, you know, dark types and things. So it's like a really, really cool combo. But yeah, we will give Regirock a chance, and then we'll see. But I think it's unlikely. So yeah, I'm going to pause and be right back. All right, so we are back. We have our list now. So for the Regirock stuff, we basically troved through and grabbed Venusaur, Deoxys, Castform, Medicham, Raichu, and then I decided to put Obstagoon, and I tacked on Sableye and Azumarill just to see if that would what happens with the algorithm. Then we'll go ahead and punch that through and see what we get. So we're going to scroll down to alternatives. And, okay, Kricketune, interesting. There's Clefable again. I don't think Clefable Regirock is better coverage than Marowak Clefable, so that's weird. Jumpluff makes sense, so I do have a Jumpluff. And yeah, it seems to help out against a wide variety of Pokemon. Not Deoxys, but I think Deoxys has a lot of, like, play to it. If I'm being honest, I think that with yeah, it's a lot of Charmers, a lot of weird bugs and stuff. I don't really know. Kricketune I'm not really into. Vespiquen, not really, maybe. And then a bunch of Charmers, 0-point and 1-point Charmers, yeah, makes sense. Drapion, 0 points, struggles against some of the fighters, which we have trouble with. Frostlass could be interesting. What's it struggling against? Raichu and Obstagoon? Frostlass could actually do it. Those are some weird choices. I think that Noctowl is another one that could be really good. Struggles a bit against Deoxys, but yeah, so I think I'm torn between Frostlass. Fortress actually sounds kind of nice. Doesn't quite shut down the fighters. I don't know, maybe it's not as good. So yeah, I'm liking the looks of Frostlass, and then sorry I'm not in landscape for this. I could go ahead and just do that actually. Yeah, sorry, my bad. So, yeah, Kricketune is a weird one. I actually just need to see like what moveset Kricketune has. So if you click here, it'll open up a battle, and it'll show you the simulation results of Kricketune and what it's using. Sounds like X Scissor, some Fury Cutter, okay, and Bug Buzz. So it's just a straight bug moves all the way, huh? So the simulations seem to think that bug moves will solve all my problems if they're good enough. That is weird. I guess I could see it. Wow. Yeah, that's just so strange to me. Is this B-Drill with the drill run? Poison Jab, X-Scissor, Sludge Bomb. Huh. It is not with the drill run. Okay, interesting. I wonder if it had drill run, if it would help. Probably not. I do like B-Drill though. It could be like Bug Bite B-Drill too. I have one of those. And I think Bug Bite and X-Scissor is essentially doing what Kricketune doing. It could just have more coverage with like drill run. Instead of just being an entirely bug Pokemon that can only kind of do one thing. And I think they're both 0 points. Yeah, B-Drill's 0 points. I wonder if it would help out with the matchups. Let's see what it's struggling against. There's 2 X's that B-Drill has right here. Let's go see what those X's are. Sableye and Deoxys, so it can't take out... I think it's entirely neutral against Sableye. If it has Bug Buzz. And then... Or, sorry, if it has Bug Bite. And, ooh, man, this could be really spicy. And then let's see how it handles. We actually added 2 Pokemon up here. So the Obstagoon, Medicham, it's gonna well, I don't know. It might be okay against Medicham. It's weird though. I think it ended up taking Sableye over something else. We need to remove Sableye and run this results again because it was putting our there we go. That looks a bit better. It looks like it's leaving out Azumarill, which is fine. So of the 6 across the top there, Venusaur, Raichu, Obstagoon, Medicham, Deoxys, Castform, I don't think it was taking into account Castform before. I don't remember. It was missing something, but it had Sableye instead, and I didn't want Sableye because we were already fighting Dark with Obstagoon, so I didn't really want it to like double count like Dark Pokemon and stuff. So in this case, Bug Bite, B-Drill actually probably stops beating. No, it probably just beats all these. I'm not sure about the Castform. I could add it to the team and see, honestly. And then, and then Drill Run is a really nice coverage move. In addition to X-Scissor, we could have. Yeah, this is weird. B-Drill actually might be really good because I like Kricketune made sense. It was like, oh hey, look, Kricketune beats all these things with bug moves, entirely just bug moves. But I kind of like B-Drill because people will think it's Poison Jab, so they might run Azumarill less against us, and then it'll actually be Bug Buzz, which means Azumarill's pretty good against B-Drill, and we'll have like X-Scissor and Drill Run instead of Sludge Bomb. So it's like, oh, that's weird. So we could do like kind of a moveset kind of jankiness to it. So I'm actually liking the sound of that. And then yeah, sure, why not? So I'm gonna add I'm gonna switch here a little bit. Whoop. All right, and then I'm gonna go with Bug Bite, and then we're gonna go with, man, he has so many charge moves, it's ridiculous. I think for the most part we just want the drill. Wait, how do we get Drill Run with Bug Bite? It's a Legacy B-Drill, so we either have to spend an Elite TM on one or the other. Yeah, maybe we just end up with the Poison move? I don't know, Bug and Poison tend to threaten the same things. I don't know. That is awkward. I forgot about that. Yeah, because I can't... Yeah, I can't see doing anything but an Elite TM in order to acquire this. So yeah, we might just have to take B-Drill standard, like stock as it is, as it comes. And I mean, it still kind of takes out like the majority of those Pokemon. So that's really cool. What does it use to take out Castform? Can it just use straight X-Scissor? It probably uses the Sludge Bomb. Yeah, so if it Drill Run there. If it had Drill Run, let's just give it Drill Run real quick. Battle, Castform wins. Yeah, Drill Run is not enough damage because it doesn't have Stab, is the problem. So, Interesting. And it loses to Beedrill, huh? Or sorry, it loses to Deoxys, huh? What if you just shield enough? Deoxys would totally die. I bet you. Okay, that's a weird result. Didn't really expect that one. It looks like if you shield the Psycho Boost, you're kind of good to go. So if that second one there, if that second Rock Slide was a Psycho Boost, then you're definitely in good shape. And also, if you double shield this Deoxys, he's doing counter, which is double resisted, and you have like 80 HP at the end of it. Like, that's still a whole bunch of moves. Granted, steel types can wall you, but that's why I was thinking of getting a Community Day Beedrill with Drill Run. So, and just saying, screw it. Screw the Rainy Cast Form. Rainy Cast Form is such a threat, though. So yeah, we're gonna use Drill. We're gonna use Beedrill. We're gonna add the Drill Run. Screw it. Don't care anymore. It's like tomorrow or the next day or something we can get one. So I think I can actually lock my Community Day Beedrill in advance, right? Because I have one I'm gonna evolve. So yeah, I'll just use that. I'll just use that, whatever Weedle I have, and whatever CP it evolves to. And I'll just, and I already know the moveset, so yeah, seems fine. So, okay, so we'll do that for Cliffhanger. That'll be interesting. And then let us delete our custom meta again, one last time, and then run the team. And at this point, we're pretty much just going to accept whatever it tells us for the Regirock team, and then that'll be it. I'll probably also go and make the other team just to see, because I do like the Alolan Marowak and the Clefable combo. But yeah, let's rate this shit and see what we got. And let us go and... okay. So, what's our threat score down to? 615. Okay. Still not the best. What are the sort of standard alternatives that it's suggesting right now? How many points do we actually have? I think this will tell us. We have 15 out of 17 points. So we can do a 1-pointer, and then we could also do a 1-point grass if we wanted to. So we could actually delete Tangrowth and then run it again and see if there's a better grass that's like better for 1 point instead of 0, right? Like maybe a Jumpluff or something. So yeah, this seems fine. So let's do it. Let's scroll down and see if we can find a 1-pointer to tack onto here. Let's see if any of this stuff just kind of jumps out to us right away. Victory Bell does not. We already have a grass. Raikou is very interesting. I know it's really strong now. The problem is I don't want to have all these like wild chargers and close combaters and stuff. Like Berserker's a close combater, so he like self-debuffs himself and then he wants to like get out of there. Raikou's the same thing. Back when we had the... I was thinking about Deoxys like with the Psycho Boost. So I guess maybe this is fine. Yeah, it would only be 2. Yeah, maybe I could do that. So yeah, I'm just going to go and make a... just kind of check out my matchups and see what kind of things we're going to still struggle against. So we're looking for things that beat us 4 out on this list. So basically 4 circles. So if there's 3 circles, then we're fine. And we kind of don't want to obtain 4 circles against anything here. So Deoxys, we're going to want something for that. Although Beedrill, we know, is kind of better than it looks. We're going to want... So Tropius, Deoxys, and what were we considering, by the way? Just because we might, Raikou, okay. Anything else that jumps out to us? Wigglytuff, Clefable. Yeah, those are all possible. I think some of the Charmers are a little awkward. Looks like Clefable. Yeah, we're gonna take Magnezone out of this list. We're gonna make our own list. So we're gonna want to deal with... I like the idea of Cast Form. So of this list at the top, I like Cast Form as an enemy, Deoxys as an enemy, Sableye, Machamp, and then I'll find the other 2. So I'll just be right back. All right, and here's our list that we made real quick. Deoxys, Machamp, Sableye, Castform, Stunfisk, and Tropius. There's a couple more in there that make sense, but honestly, these are pretty like duplicate types. Like we have one fighter, we have one really weird dark ghost. Sableye is very hard to pin down. We have a super strong water. We have a Galarian Stunfisk, which might actually be very possible people are running. Deoxys is going to be ubiquitous, and then Tropius is kind of the best grass, so if we can devise the algorithm to solve against Tropius, it'll probably solve against most other grass problems as well. So, let's see what it suggests with our point limitations that we have left. Mew. Huh. Yeah, Mew could definitely be a solution. I don't know what moves we could run on Mew, but Mew could definitely be a solution here. That's ridiculous. There's a lot of things we could do with Mew. Yeah, it would be very hard to guess our moveset on Mew. That's actually kind of awesome. I didn't know Mew was a one-pointer. Yeah, it's really cool. And then Clefable is the only other thing I'm thinking about running. It looks like Clefable or Mew. So, let's just put, what does it suggest for Mew right now? What is Mew's moveset currently? It's like Overheat or some shit usually. Oh, Psyshock, Wild Charge. Okay, those are good moves. Yeah, sure. We'll just run that. So let's just add a Mew real quick, and then this is kind of what I'm going to show you about the iterative nature of this. So we're going to run the Mew. We'll also want to keep in mind the Clefable, which is pretty easy to keep in mind because it keeps getting suggested for all of our teams. And then we run this. We look at the final threat score, 618. Okay, I don't know if that's good or not. And then what we can do is pull out the Tangrowth and then run it again. And it'll suggest 1-pointers as well as 0-pointers. And we'll see the Tangrowth, I'm sure, will still be on there. Holy crap, so many notifications. But we get some interesting other results. I'm sure, yeah, Jumpluff is on there. And see, look at this. It just literally has like 6 electric Pokemon. Okay, Mudboys and Electrics and Sableye. So it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, I remember originally we wanted Tangrowth because it had some, the Rock Slide stuff that it had was actually like pretty useful. So we're going to have to be pretty careful. But I think overall, when we look at our grades, we have C for coverage, C for bulk, B for safety. I think Jumpluff would actually give us a lot of bulk. Jumpluff is extremely bulky. It's also interesting that Vigoroth takes out a lot of these Mudboys. I think I would rather just have the straight grass, though. And Jumpluff appears to do that pretty well. It's like a poor man's Tropius. It's like a slightly crappier version of Tropius. And so then we'll run this, and we'll see if our threat score increased at all. It was 618 before. Now it's 604, so definitely a little bit better. Let's see if our bulk has increased. Our bulk is a B now, so everything is kind of looking pretty good. And then if we go here, this was kind of our old team. We're just going to plug in, this was when we had 3 things. We're going to plug in the Regirock real quick. We're going to plug in the, we're going to keep the Tangrowth. We're going to plug in Beedrill with the Drill Run. And then we're going to plug in Clefable. And then we can swap the Tangrowth to Jumpluff, sure. Nope, I didn't want to hit generate. My bad. Jumpluff. Alright, cool. And then rate the team again. Look, A, B, C, A. Let's see what the threat score is. Oh, is it against the custom meta? Whoops. we still have that in there. Let's clear that out real quick. Wow, there's a lot. This was back when we were going crazy with it. Okay. And then there we go. BBCA for the ratings, and then we have a threat score of 613. And this one has a threat score of 604. So it's better. It seems like the Mew is just kind of better than Clefable, and I think I agree. I don't think we need two two fairies to be weak against poison too. So yeah, I'm actually kind of liking this Regirock team. It's cool. I'm gonna go very quickly make the other team because I do have 30 minutes to submit the team, and then I'll be right back. And we'll compare it with the Marowak Clefable. All right, hey, so I am back, and I quickly added Marowak and Clefable to the list. Then I went through and found most of the top-rated 9-point Pokemon that I either had a weakness of 3 to, so out of the 5 Pokemon, like 3 are still weak. I really didn't want to make my 6th selection without keeping those Pokemon in mind, because it could make it 4 weak to a really ubiquitous Pokemon. So didn't want that to happen. So I went through and did things like Registeel and Azumarill and Venusaur, stuff like that. And out came a pretty surprising outcome. It was a bunch of fighters. So like Toxicroak and S-Cavalier were towards the top. And then some other kind of weirder stuff that wasn't quite as good. But yeah, this is definitely strong. And if we go and look at the threat score, it's actually 595, which is lower than what we had on our other team. Threat score isn't everything, but honestly, I don't have to invest in a Regirock if I play this. I have most of these Pokemon except the Tangrowth. I can go make that, then submit this team on over to Go Stadium and get on with it. But yeah, feel free to copy any of these 2 teams that I've made. This Beedrill one was also a little awkward because the Community Day move wasn't available yet when I submitted it, but will be later. So I mean, it seems likely that I'm allowed to technically do that, but I don't know. It's a little sketchy on the rules. The Mew did sound really hilariously fun, though. So I don't know. I'll figure out what I'm going to end up submitting. I still have 20 minutes to pick. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. We have 2 teams there from the variations. So I would say pick 1 or 2 of your favorite Pokemon that you would like to try and build a team out of. You do not need to start with the highest point Pokemon first, but I do recommend it because it trims down most of the things that you're weak to, and it enables you to fill those gaps with other picks. That's how I would recommend you build for the Cliffhanger meta. So yeah, if you like this video, if you honestly got to this point, just like type in the comments that you made it here, and I really hope that this in-depth building is going to help you win more tournaments, hit the elite or ace status on Silph if you are not there yet, and really just push your game to the next level. So yeah, this has been Flark Fiasco. I'm signing out now, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, bye.